Hi guys, I'm super thrilled today. I have with me Mr. Akshay Sharma, who is the founder of Woodfeather. Being from the aviation family, even I've had a legacy of fourth generation, and I'm so excited to do this aviation podcast with him. And we're going to know a lot of insights on his journey, the way he started his business, and his expansion plans and so forth. So, welcome Akshay to this episode of mine. I'm super thrilled you're here with me today, and so, to begin with, Akshay, I want to know a little bit on your early life. What got you into the aviation sector? Were you always enthusiastic? And what are the things, with the brand which you started, Woodfeather? What are your vision behind it? So, a little bit starting with is your early life. I want to know a little bit on that.
That's going to take a long time because my history with aviation is as old as me, which is 45 years. This
Okay.
podcast is going a little longer than we expected. Hey, but first of all, congratulations. Today is Indian Air Force Day, 8th
Okay.
of October. So
Right.
it's a great day to be
Perfect.
doing this
Yeah.
podcast.
Right.
I've always been a fan of the Indian Air Force, like I'm sure so are you.
Yeah.
We grew up watching fighter planes and enamored by them. So my journey as an aviation enthusiast started when I wanted to be a pilot. Like every kid, I
Yeah.
think every kid at some point says, I want to fly a plane, right?
Yeah.
In my case, that just lasted very long. I did want to be a pilot when I was young. Unfortunately, when I went for medicals, I did my science and all of that, and I went for medicals. I'm talking about back in 1996. I think I gave her my age. But I went to Bangalore for my medicals and I realized I used to wear glasses, right? And my number was a little borderline case. So my admissions were done to go to flying school in California. But, I had Chashma and LASIK wasn't really a thing back then. So the guys that told me that, hey, technically right now you're fit to fly. You can fly because your number is like a -3. And that was the cutoff back then. But they said your number goes up a little bit and you lose your flying license. And my dad was obviously going to spend a fair amount of money back in the day for me to do my flying.
Right.
So I realized that this dream wasn't happening and I didn't have a plan B. Anyway, life went on. I cried to the gods. They said, "Aise kaise ho sakta hai?" It's
Hmm.
the only plan I ever had. Moved on to doing other things in life, no regrets. But I had promised myself that when I do have the time and the money, I will learn to fly a plane. Now, anyway, life went on. And in 2010, I finally went and I did get my pilot's license. I was in Miami, one of the best places in the world to learn flying. And I got my private pilot's license. So I do fly. I don't fly commercially, but as a hobby, I think I've done great justice to it. I wherever I travel, because I'm very fond of traveling, whichever part of the world I'm in, I end up leasing a little aircraft and my wife and I fly around, enjoying landscapes. So it's actually not a bad deal if you ask me, because maybe if I were a commercial pilot, I could have been bored of it. But
Yeah.
now that I do it as a recreation, I think it's a lot more fun.
Right.
Twist is that, and the good twist in the tale is that now I just don't love aviation myself. Like you mentioned, thanks to Woodfeather, I share my love for aviation with the world.
Right.
It's not just me who's enjoying the passion of being an enthusiast, but I can now take this to people's homes and make them a part of my journey. So
Yeah.
I think it's been an upgrade. I thought life bowled me a bouncer, but no, I think it was a great full toss.
Right. And I think it's damn cool also, something aviation, I think is loved by everyone. Everyone wants to fly, they want to know about planes. And what better way also to do this unique concept, when you're designing your own houses, like luxury segment as well, you can have a
Yes.
piece of memory, when it comes to your beautification of your home. So I think it's wonderful and the way you customize it as well. So it's truly great. So I
Thank
want to
you.
know, like, when you started this, what are the challenges you faced? What was the whole process behind it? Was the parts easily available to you? And what was the whole journey like?
Okay, so it's very interesting actually. This also has a bit of a story in it that when I was building my house
Yeah.
in Bombay, I wanted to have a propeller in my house. Like everybody says, well, aviation enthusiasts typically start with the propeller, and nothing available this side of the world. And I'm now talking about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I ordered one in the US online, and a friend was moving homes, so she was gonna ship it to me or carry it with her stuff. As luck would have it, it was lost in transit. So I was damn frustrated. Okay. I said, what the hell? I want a propeller. I've paid for it and I don't have one. So out of frustration, I said, you know what? I'll make myself one. Now I have no background in product design or engineering or whatever. Of course, I'm a pilot. So I do have some sense of how propellers look like. And I'm also, I think, a fairly creative chap in that sense of it. But again, not by profession. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a product designer or industrial designer. So what I did was I started working on a log of wood. Every morning before I'd go to work, I'd sand this block of wood. It was a big, long 6 feet log, and try and see that if I can make something of it. Happened for a few months until one fine day, a half decent piece was ready. It's, by the way, on the wall there behind me. Let me show it to you, a sneak peek. Woohoo!
Oh, wow.
What you see there,
Nice.
right? So I call that the alpha because that's the first time I made something. And I put it up there, and everybody came home and said, "ये क्या है? बहुत interesting है. कैसे बनाया? क्या किया?" So I said, let me try and do something, proper with it because obviously it looks like a propeller, but it's not. I mean, it doesn't have the finishing. It's very undone. Like I said, I had no background in this. Then for the next couple of months, every weekend, I'd just go and hang with people who are into woodwork, with carvers, with polishers, with this, that, understand different types of woods, techniques of how it's to be done. And this was pure passion, On
Yeah.
Sundays, just go and lock myself in a workshop and figure out what's happening. And I think this is in 2017 when my friends were like, where are you every weekend? You seem to be missing. So there was a friend who used to run a store in Bombay. So I requested, I said, hey, can I just call over some friends for a coffee over here in the evening? I want to show them what I've been up to. So I'd made these 4, 5 small, like 3, 4 foot pieces, different shapes, sizes, my experiments. And I called my friends and I just kept it there on the table. And I said, hey, guys, this is what I've been doing for the last few months. Now, incidentally, everybody else who walked into that store said, hey, is this for sale? We'd love to buy it. This is so cool. So I said, oh, there seems like there's more people like me who'd want to buy one.
Yeah.
That's how the idea of Woodfeather started.
Okay.
So it was an experiment from a lost shipment, which turned into a passion to do something right, and then some encouragement from early people who walked in and said, "This is so cool! I'd love to own a piece of this. How
Yeah.
much do you price it at?" And I said, "Listen, it's not a price.
Yeah.
This is just something I was playing with wood." And we kicked off Woodfeather. I said I want to do this as a real thing because I think there's more people like me who want to own this. After that, over the next 5 years, every time we launched a new collection, which was every year, the product quality, finish, design, it just grew multifold. I mean, what we were launching was not like a minimal upgrade.
Right.
Okay, we have a design, we've done a slight upgrade. It was like a completely different version because now we were learning really fast.
Yeah.
And now I was doing it as a business. So Woodfeather really got its wings back then. It's been 7 years now into Woodfeather. We've launched multiple collections, and now what you see is probably one of the finest handcrafted propellers in the world. And I'm not embarrassed to say that. I'm going to be modest and honest and say we do make the best finished propellers in the world, and that's for a fact because the kind of effort that goes on. By the way, we make it by hand.
Yeah.
So one of the USPs of our brand from the beginning is that it's handcrafted. We're not using machines. We're not CNC cutting it. I know it can happen much cheaper and much faster, but the joy of making something by wood, the love and the passion that goes inside it. Every client who orders one, we share pictures of what it's looking like a log when it's getting sanded, carved, polished. So you are literally seeing your propeller come to life. I think it's that journey which I really enjoy. I wanted every client to have that sense of ownership, that sense of belonging to this piece of art, and that's how Woodfeather started. So it's been a fantastic journey. Like you mentioned earlier, the Top Gun piece happened sometime in 2019. That was another crazy dream come true for me, and we can dive deeper into that.
Right.
But that's how essentially the journey of Woodfeather started. And Airborne, which we launched now recently last week, which is a new line where we've made furniture from actual aircraft parts, was a dream I had, I think, from pretty much the inception. But it was not something I could jump into on day one because it was hard enough to crack propellers, which I could manufacture, leave aside, sourcing parts of actual fighter planes and commercial jets and, restoring them and transforming them into beautiful furniture pieces. So that was the next leap, which has taken 4 years in the making. Last 2.5 years, I think we've done like what 15 or 16 pieces it's taken to get
Yeah.
last in the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a crazy.
But I think it's damn cool, not just sticking to wall art and you're trying different things with different parts of the aviation part. So, and yeah, I think you're doing really nice tables, clocks, and there are a lot of things which you are doing, which is fantastic, I feel like. And this is something which is very unique, you don't see it in today's time, normally you see luxury furniture like the standardized or, this is something
Yeah,
adding that extra beautification to the house, where people want to go for that little bit of an exclusivity or, something totally
absolutely.
different, So in terms of, I think that is fantastic. And in fact, I'm so excited. I'm looking to buy one too from you soon.
I'm
So
going to hold you on that one. But
great.
there's a couple of reasons why this is not taken off in India. We need to understand where we culturally and economically come what our fabric is. as a country, we've not been big on aviation. I don't think we had the luxury, from where we came, as a country, as an economy, from the time we got our freedom. I think we were not a country that was, inducted into aviation
Yeah.
very easily. Nobody had private planes. There were no crop dusters. Farmers could never use it. And you and I, both being from aviation, we know that this is not expensive.
Yeah.
Owning an aircraft,
Yeah.
Cessna, is like owning a mid-level car, not even a
Exactly.
luxury car.
Yeah.
But just that infrastructure never existed, the policies around it never existed. So for us, airplanes have always been like, oh my God, airplane, oh
Yeah.
my God, aircraft. Whereas if you go to the West, you'll see that there's an airstrip every few miles,
Yeah.
and that anybody can come and swipe their card like you rent a car, you just rent a plane and you fly from point A to point B.
Right.
Getting a pilot's license is no rocket science. It's easier than flying a car because kids after the 12th grade, when they're 16 years of age, can go get a pilot's license, whereas to drive, you need to be 18.
Yeah.
My point is that it's not difficult. It's just the access was always limited.
Yeah.
So culturally, for us, aviation was never a thing. It was never mainstream. It was very niche, very exclusive.
Yeah.
The other thing is that to operate in this space, because it's not mainstream, you need a lot of passion. This takes a lot of time and energy. And let me tell you one thing, there is no set commercial business model for this to be viable, right? Woodfeather today, after 7 years, of course, is an established business, and we're doing great guns, touch wood. But when I kicked off Woodfeather, I was building a category. I didn't know how many years I would have to just put in effort and money
Right.
without any profitability in sight.
Right.
Same is the case now for Airborne. We've put in years and put
Yeah.
in some serious amount of money. We don't know what's going to happen because in India, this market doesn't exist. We
Right.
have to build this category, right? So unless you have some crazy amount of passion for something like this, somebody with a logical head is not going to jump into this line of
Yeah.
business and say, hey, let me make aviation furniture because
Yeah.
it's unique or exclusive. Uh, you know, People have evolved, thankfully, with aviation becoming mainstream now in the early 21st century. Now we're like the biggest aviation market in the world. I mean,
Yeah.
Boeing and Airbus are surviving on our order books.
Right.
But 20 years ago, the common man didn't have access
Yeah.
to
Of course. Yeah.
aviation. So now things are changing, which is great. And I'm sure there's the future is very bright for anybody who wants to be in this business. But generally, it's been a loss-making exercise across the world, whether it's aircraft manufacturing companies, airlines, guys like us down the line who do passion work in aviation.
Yeah.
It's not really money making. You do it more for
Yeah.
the love of aviation
Yeah.
because people just love airplanes.
Yeah.
People who love them love them.
Right.
So that's the story of Airborne. We've done some crazy stuff, like you said. We've built sofas and clocks and tables and
Yeah.
chandeliers and whatnot. And how the uptake is, I'm very optimistic personally, because people do want. There is a market which wants something very exclusive.
Right.
And here's the good thing I must tell you, which is a great trend for aviation. And this is a side note to anybody who wants to get into this, is that I'm happy to say that 80% of my buyers are not connected to aviation. They're not pilots, they're not aviation enthusiasts. For Woodfeather, these are people who want something unique for their homes.
Yeah.
That marble ka hathi and kanch ka
Right.
ghoda, those days are kind of,
Right.
fading out.
Yeah.
And people want a conversation piece. They want, when somebody comes into their house, they say, wow, what is that? That's so cool,
Yeah.
right? And a propeller can do that. That wow factor exists. So people also look at it purely as a piece of art and not necessarily something that may be emotionally a part of their mind space.
Right.
So the same with Airborne. People are spending tens of lakhs on buying luxury branded European sofas to say that, hey, I have one of those too. But even if you spend 50 lakhs on a luxury branded sofa, you'll probably be one among the thousands in this country who still has them.
Right.
But if you have a MiG-21 drop tank sofa, you're probably the only one, if not in this country, in the world, who probably has something like that.
Yeah.
Now, that when you see the wow factor, it's not just about being rich, it's about having taste. It's about saying, oh my God, you own something that nobody else has. And it's not something that money can easily buy. So
Right.
bragging rights, all of that comes with it.
Right.
So again, while aviation enthusiasts will be the first ones to dive into it, but I think in the slightly longer tail of things, I do see major uptake for collectors' pieces, not just in aviation, but in general.
Tell me something. This is damn cool what you're doing. As you said, it's all about an idea which you started and the resilience, the consistency, the hard work, the sweat, blood, everything goes, behind
All
anything.
of it, literally.
Yeah, yeah. So, it's basically a vision. I'm sure, there's a full like a vision, and you must have seen, that how you want to take this brand forward. But tell me a little bit also about your association with Top Gun. I think that's fab. So I want to know a little bit on that. How did you get into that? How did you all become the official partners for them, and how did that work?
That Siddhant was the best day of my life, I think. I don't know how much more is yet to come and how many more feathers in our cap.
Yeah.
But I think if I had to really mark out one day which stood out, and I think I cried tears of joy, was the day that happened. So when the trailer of Top Gun Maverick was released worldwide, obviously we knew it was happening, and I woke up one fine day, and obviously there was a pop-up, and I saw the trailer on YouTube. Goosebumps, Maverick is back
Yeah.
after so many years. All of that happened, and I've been a Top Gun fan, obviously, like every aviation kid, right?
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
was flying,
Of
I wear
course.
it in your headphones, and
Yeah.
the
Of course.
anthem going and all of that. So it was, and that this is when Woodfeather was just about 2.5, 3 years old as a business, right? It was a small little workshop in Mumbai. Uh, but I said to myself, I said, hey, you know what? I've always set out to do crazy stuff, and nothing's ever stopped me. I said, if at all there had to be a Top Gun propeller, which nobody has made, by the way, I said, I want to be the one making it. Now here I am, one little workshop in the suburbs of Mumbai, and there is Top Gun, like the biggest aviation brand in the world,
Yeah.
right? On studios, Tom Cruise, like blah blah blah, whatever the works, right? There is no logical reason for me to even think that something like this can happen. But I remember chatting with my wife that morning, and I said, you know what, I have to give this a shot. I am going to reach out to whoever I can. And my fallback plan was that I'm going to put out a tweet, like a self-recorded video, to Tom Cruise saying that I want to make the Top Gun propeller. Give me a shot. And I want that tweet to go viral. I want like millions and millions of people to retweet it. And then suddenly it becomes such a rage that, it reaches him somehow. And he says, okay, who's this kid in India? Let's give him a shot, kind of a thing. That was my fallback plan. Didn't come to it. But I picked up the phone on pretty much everybody I knew who could get me some contact
Yeah.
somewhere. I could reach out to these guys
Yeah.
and tell them that, hey, this is what I want to do. So out of my own excitement, I made a few pieces, right? I made a few samples saying that in my head, if there were a Top Gun propeller, what would it look like? Blah, 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 all of that. And as luck would have it, we did find, connections. What
Okay.
is that Shah Rukh Khan dialogue where he says, "Jab kuch chahiye ho to puri
Uh,
kainat jut jati
yeah. Yeah.
hai."
Yeah.
Make it happen. I have seen that happen, dude. I mean, people call it manifesting, blah, 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 but it was manifestation, love, effort, crazy amount of persistence and determination to do something which was way out of my league. I was punching way above my weight, right? In this case. But as luck would have it, we did find a way to reach out to Paramount Studios. The guys saw the enthusiasm, they saw what we had to make. I have to thank some of the blokes here in India, Diksha and Bhavik, who really made this happen for me. And they saw value in it. They said, "Wow, this is crazy. This is good. Let's pitch this to Paramount." Uh, what I have heard, the version is that Tom Cruise himself signs off on everything, like he's the Amir Khan of Hollywood, right? He wants to get the
Okay.
details of everything. So I'd like to believe, and that's a story I was told, that he's personally seen these designs and approved them. Even if it's not true, that's the version I like to
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
And I remember after months and months and months of following up and hoping that something will happen, there was long silence. Obviously, I'd sent my designs, I'd submitted my requests, but and COVID had just about begun, so life wasn't easy.
Yeah.
One fine day, I got an email saying that, hey, here's your contract, we're on. I mean,
Oh,
even now when I talk about it, I get
gives you the
goosebumps.
goosebumps.
Just
Yeah.
that day, I was like, oh my God, am I actually going to make the official? Like, I have goosebumps right now as you
Yeah.
speak.
Right. Right.
Am I actually going to make the official Top Gun propellers for the world?
Wow.
Uh, yeah, then we had a bunch of designs, back and forth happened. We had the official rights to make the Top Gun Maverick and the Top Gun Classic propellers for the movie. We did some crazy stuff. And yeah, that was the biggest day for Woodfeather.
I
I
think
mean,
it's yeah, as you
that
said.
and that kind of endorsement just seals the deal. I don't know what's bigger than that. I
Yeah,
really don't know.
yeah, I think that says it all. We all have grown up to seeing his movies, and and Top Gun in the aviation industry itself is like a milestone. And it's so cool that you got to do this, and I'm so happy. As I said, it's all about hard work, resilience, and consistency. So,
Thank
and
you.
it's super cool that you did this. Another thing I want to know is basically if you want to give a message there are a lot
Hmm.
of people who want to become pilots, who want to get into the aviation industry. They want to own a flight, they want to fly, they want to know the procedure, how to get into it. Uh,
Hmm.
what would your message to them be?
So I want to split this up into two, three things because I think we're talking to different people. So
Yeah.
let's say first, people who want to get into making a business out of aviation, ancillary peripheral business like mine. Please do it. We want aviation to become mainstream. We want it to be a part of people's lives, big, small, whatever you do it. It's gonna take an incredible amount of effort, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. I have seen it personally, and I was the one, I can proudly say, who built this category. We were the first ones to do propellers in India. Now probably one of the best guys to do it, in the world. It's off mind saying it again and again, but please build something. A lot of guys trying to come and make cheap fakes of my designs, trying to put out some replicas out there. Don't do it. Sky's the limit. I've done 20 designs. There's no reason why you can't do another 2,000, right? Or whatever it is that you like to do with aviation. Please do something. It will further the cause at a much larger level. Aviation, like you said, is something which is very aspirational. You've said it before. A pilot, everybody still says, "Oh my God, you're a pilot." It's just something cool about aviation.
Yeah.
So there will be takers, and there will be takers forever. Now, kids or people, I will not even say kids actually. This message is more for people your age and my age, or maybe older than us, who once wanted to fly or wanted to be a pilot. Please go and learn to fly a plane. This is something I have said, to everybody I know, and I can't say it enough. Everybody, I believe, should learn to fly an aircraft for a couple of reasons. One, it's damn easy. It's not as hard as you think, right? I learned to fly a plane in 25 days straight. 25 days. That's all it took me. Of course, I was doing it like, a man on a mission, morning to night, 16 hours a day, etc. But even if you had to do it comfortably, I'm saying it'll probably take you 2-3 months, but get a private pilot's license. It's not hard. It's very cool. And the biggest reason is what it does to you as a person. And I had once written a blog post about it, many years back, which people found interesting. But in a nutshell, flying will change you as a person. It's not really about saying, hey, I have a pilot's license and I can fly a plane. I don't want to get philosophical about it, but it does give you a perspective into life. It's a spiritual journey. When you're up in the sky alone in that aircraft, flying your own plane, you're not a passenger in a commercial flight. When you and that aircraft are up in the sky, disconnected from everything on the planet, everything is minuscule, right? All those buildings, those cars, everything you see is the size of an ant now.
Yeah.
And you are up, completely disconnected from everything. It is the nearest experience to godliness. At a spiritual level, it really changes you. It's not that expensive. It's not that long. So if you want some monies and you can buy yourself some time, I would say go learn to fly a plane. That is like the one big message I want to give to everybody. As far as students are concerned, I think it's a great time. It's the best time to be a pilot in India. The aviation sector is booming. I wish that were the case when I was growing up. That time, there were so many pilots I knew who were struggling for jobs. There was a huge crunch in the industry. But now, with the order books of Airbus and Boeing by the Indian Airlines, I think there's so much room for growth for pilots. So yeah, it's a great time. Lucky you.
Okay. Great. So now I'm going to come with a little fun segment, which is the rapid fire round. And I'm going to ask you
Okay.
some quick questions to know you more personally.
Okay.
If you're
Wow.
ready, we're ready to go.
Should I get my cup of coffee?
So,
Go for it.
so the first one is going to be, what is your favorite airplane which you love to fly?
Oh, geez, come on. You can't do that to me.
Your
You
favorite
can't do
maybe. I would say
Oh my God.
just
That's like asking me which is my favorite Woodfeather design. Jeez. Okay. Tough one to say, but I really like the P-51 Mustang. I
Okay.
really like it. There's something, and there's a specific look of it. It's the one with the silver body with the black and yellow checks. That particular livery, I don't know, there's something about it which just makes me go like, whoo, that's so cool. But
Okay.
yeah, it'll be unfair of me to say it's my absolute favorite. It's maybe one of my top
Right.
picks.
Which is the destination you love flying the most?
I've flown in a lot of different places in the world, but I go back to Miami only because I have some fantastic memories there. I know the airspace there at the back of my hand. I have flown on South Beach. I don't know if I should be saying this, but on South Beach at like 300 feet,
Okay.
I could wave out to people on their surfboards and people swimming, and I could see people, sunbathing. It was beautiful. At 300 feet over South Beach is amazing. I know the airspace. We have a lot of fun when I fly that side of the world, flying over the Keys and all that. So it's just that the comfort makes it a lot easier, but hey, it's beautiful everywhere.
Okay.
I love the skies.
Okay, so I know you're married, but I'm gonna still ask you this question. Who's your celebrity?
Hey, careful on this one. Careful on this one.
Who's the celebrity crush you would like to take on a flight if you have a choice?
Ah, You're really going to get me Roger, aren't you? Okay. Does it have to be the opposite gender?
No, it doesn't have to be the
Doesn't
opposite.
have to be, right?
Whatever, yeah,
So I'm
whatever.
surely taking Tom Cruise. I
Uh,
am taking Tom Cruise. That's it, without a doubt.
I think that's going to be a dream for everybody.
Yeah, like I said, the biggest feather in my cap in life has been getting the Top Gun license to make the propellers. And if Tom Cruise and I get some buddy time and I
Yeah.
show him what I've made and we chat about our love for aviation and he owns a plane. By the way, he has a P-51
Yeah,
Mustang.
yeah, yeah. And
The hidden agenda here is that we go flying in his
and
aircraft.
apparently
That
he's
kills
a,
two birds.
and apparently he's a fantastic pilot as well.
He's a great pilot.
Yeah,
And he has his own P-51 Mustang. So you see, I get to fly with him in
yeah.
my favorite aircraft. So, hey, easy answer, actually.
Which is your favorite music and the genre of music which you like and you can hear probably hum all the time, if you're having a bad day or anything like that.
Uh, Keeps changing with age, with time, with mood. But my go-to song for 2024 has been an Arijit Singh song. It's called Mainu Vida Karo from this movie called Amar Singh Chamkila.
Okay.
So it's been my go-to track. It's got this whole 1960s Madan Mohan music
Right.
vibe. And it's actually a sad song. It's about people saying farewell to a guy when he passes. But
Yeah.
it's just been my go-to song this year. So right now, no matter what mood I'm in, whether I'm low or whether I'm happy and I'm popping a beer, I just want to listen to Menu Vida Karo.
What is your favorite cuisine, which you can probably nibble 24/7 and 7 days a week?
Dosas. It's
Ah,
not a cuisine, it's literally an item. I can do my mom's khichdi and I
ah.
can do dosas
Are you a good
anytime.
cook yourself?
I do cook, so you must know this. I am actually a hotel management graduate as well.
Oh,
So if I were left to the job, I can do a pretty good
there are plenty
job
of
of
feathers in your hat,
pushing
bro.
up.
It's so good to see that.
Thank you.
Okay, and my last question in the rapid fire, what do you think is the main difference in today's millennials and the Gen Zs?
Oh God, there goes another philosophical one. Are you sure this is a rapid fire?
Yeah, just this one, probably can say it in a one word or one sentence, whatever you like.
Ah, no, I think if I had to be a little pragmatic and my generation obviously feels that there's too much entitlement and privilege coming to them. But the way I see it, they're dealing with a whole different bunch of challenges which did not exist when we were growing up. Um, so I don't know, everything education in today's times needs to catch up with time. There's so many pressures. Yeah. I honestly I'm in no position to comment on their struggles and their challenges. I know it's very easy for us to sit here and say, hey, they got it too easy. They're
Yeah,
being, spared with a golden spoon or a silver spoon. They're addicted to social media, blah, blah, blah. Too much of social, posturing. But hey, I just want to say that uh, be it relationships, careers, passion, whatever, they need to keep the faith. You just need to keep chipping away at it. I think one thing that I do wish they would do differently is not let go. I think the patience levels is way too small. It's like, if it's not working out, just move on. Like I said, whether it's work or a love interest, I just see them moving on to the next thing very easily. And I want to say there's a joy in persistence. There's a love in just being dedicated,
right.
just staying put at it. So I think, and of course, it's a very generic answer. Not everyone's the same. I know a lot of kids today who really have 10x the persistence that I do. But in general, I would be happy to see if they had a little lesser of the ADHD and a little more passion and commitment and persistence towards
Right.
everything they did and everyone they dealt with. It would make a world of a difference to
Great.
their lives more than anything else.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, and Akshay, it was so nice to having this chat with you. We come to the end of the episode, and I'm super thrilled that you probably, enlightened everyone, inspired everyone who want to join the aviation industry, and you know, enthusiastics like both of us, who've probably grown up to this. It's so nice, to have this candid chat with you, and I'm sure all the viewers who's watching us today now they also know, it's a good time to get into this industry, and if you are passionate about it, you can do anything in the world. So. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks once again.
My
It's
pleasure.
been a total pleasure, and I hope to see you when I'm in Bombay.
Catch you soon, buddy. Godspeed.
Yeah.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
man. Take care. Bye bye.